Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Walker Ford, Clearwater, Florida, and guess what? I have one big, bad mamma jamma of a truck for you. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2024 Ford F-250. This is a Lariat Sport FX4. A lot going on with that name, a lot going on with this truck. But before we get into this heavy duty, remember we're talking about that super duty of an F-250. Let's talk about what's going on here. The Ford truck lineage goes back for decades. And of course, when it comes to trucks, Ford really outsells the competition in so many ways. Now with the F-250 being a super duty, being that heavy duty truck, it's gonna have the competition, of course, from Ram with the 2500, especially that 2500 Power Wagon. You have the Sierra 2500 HD, which we've even brought you the Denali Ultimate trim. And then we also can't forget the mighty Silverado 2500 HD. Well, guess what? Ford, not too long ago, made some big changes to the F-250. And what I want to find out is if you're looking for a truck that has some luxury to it, has some sport to it, but also has the tools to get the job done in the right way, is this better over the competition? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out if you should be buying this Super Duty F-250. Right off the bat, the sheer size. It really is kind of eye-opening when you see an F-250 next to a F-150. Really kind of dwarfs the F-150. Now, one of the reasons why I chose this particular one to feature is I love this. Love the color. It's called Glacier Gray. And I'm having Steven show you, it's got some nice metallic pearlescent color going on with the paint job. So very, very nice color, especially with this being a sport trim, Lariat Sport. Gives it a little sportier appearance. Of course, you're gonna get that big C-shaped daytime running lamp, all LED headlights and turn signals. And I like the way everything locks in together. It's like the two pieces interlock and really gives it a nice, strong, bold appearance. You're gonna have full functionality. It starts in the corners and it goes, of course, across that center grille area. With this being a sport, you're gonna have your flat black grille, massive. I mean, this thing is almost as big as an NFL regulation football Ford badge. And of course, you're gonna have a forward-facing camera. Working our way down, you gotta have the required tow hooks. And you have two of those painted black, nice satin black finish. Some more functionality in the center. And then you have this lower air dam, which is removable. This having the FX4 package, that's that 4x4 package. You are gonna get some skid plates and suspension that is tuned specifically for that 4x4 utility action. But definitely big and bold from the front, and I like the way the LED lights give it a nice modern appearance. And with it being a sport, let me know if you like the black grille. I'm digging the black grille. As we rise back up, we take the elevator to the top floor. They put a nice Super Duty name stamped into the hood. Simple but bold body lines. And then as we come around the bend, we do have some good looking wheels. We have these magnetic gray wheels. Love the metallic paint job on them. Helps with the sporty look. This is a 20-inch wheel. Tires are 275 on the width, 65 series sidewall. And then Steven's gonna zoom in and be able to show you our springs, upper control arm, shock absorber, and of course our steel box frame. Nice to have that strong, rigid truck experience, because wait until you hear the numbers on what we could tow and haul with this thing. But definitely loving the color of the wheel with this particular truck. No flat black, everything painted glacier gray. You'll notice the revised, updated fender vents. These are functional with the F-250 badge, this being an Lariat trim. You got a little bit of sparkly black on top of the mirror caps. The rest are flat black. Of course, with your turn signals and exterior lighting. We do have 360-degree cameras. And then from the side, I mean, this thing makes me probably look like a small figurine of myself just because of how big and bold this truck is. Now, this one does have the 6.7 liter Powerstroke turbo diesel, the high output one. There's other engine options that you could choose. You have your fixed running boards with the Ford name. Steven's gonna show you that Ford name. Go ahead and show him, Steven. Don't be shy, this truck is not gonna bite you. And then of course, I also like the way we have these side steps to get stuff out of the bed. Or you could do like some calf raises. But anyways, nice to have that easy accessibility. As we keep working our way towards the rear, you'll see that steel box frame come all the way into our bed area, the special shock absorbers, all of the suspension tuning that they do. Simple, clean graphics. Sport 4x4, you don't see a lot of these. I have not seen a lot of F-250s Sport 4x4s. And then as we kind of swing it around, you'll notice some of the changes that they did just last year. You have your full LED taillights, everything, turn signals, backup lamps. You have those little corner steps. And I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, Chevy and GMC already did that. Well, guess what? Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. And I like the way they made them nice and tall so you could get your work boot in there, your clown shoe, whatever you got, your Converse sneakers, you could get them in there so that you could get in and out whatever you need from the back. Now on the tailgate area, Super Duty just nicely stamped in there, no badges stuck on. Of course, you got the famous blue oval. And then as we drop down, you got all of that big bad toe capability, all your hookup points, nice and high out of the mud. And then let's drop it like it's hot. You ready for this? Oh yeah, soft release. You'll notice in the back of the bed, we have LED lighting. And then you have your different tie down locations. Would be nice to have a bed liner. One of my favorite things though is the easy step system. You got a ruler so you can see whose is bigger. You and your friends hanging out the back of the truck and all measure up, measure the fish that you caught and see whose fish was bigger that you caught with the full measurements here. And then to get into the back of the bed, it's easy peasy. I don't need a folding bed. And one of the things a lot of people don't talk about with the folding bed that you have, the multi-flex tailgate, they call it at GMC and Chevy, this is still very rigid. When you have that folding tailgate, it compromises the structural rigidity depending on what you're trying to get in and out. Just something that you should know. This, the way it's built, still has that nice rigidness to it. And all you're gonna do is follow the instructions. It's real simple. 1, 2, 3. That's it. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop that big old hood and see the Powerstroke underneath it. All right guys, pop the hood. You do have those hydraulic hood struts. You're gonna need it because that hood is massive. Underneath the hood, no plastic. You got pure Powerstroke turbo diesel. So what do we got? 6.7 liters, 500 horsepower. You ready for this? 1,200 pound-feet of torque. You could actually go to your enemy's house and pull the house right off the foundation with the amount of torque that this thing has. Hopefully you don't have any enemies, and I don't advise doing that to a friend as a joke. 10-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60 in this thing. Are you ready to hear this? 5.5 seconds. That's faster than Steven's Type R. Top speed is governed to 100 miles per hour. The truck weighs 8,100 pounds. Conventional towing can tow 13,700 pounds. Gooseneck towing 40,000 pounds. And if you remember, I was at the Ford Proving Grounds when I got to drive a Super Duty with a gooseneck setup, and I towed 40,000 pounds. But why don't we go ahead? We saw the goods. Let's fire this thing up and hear if it makes that diesel chatter that we like. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 F-250 Super Duty Lariat Sport trim, 4x4 all the way. And remember, this isn't even the top trim. So this comes in right above the XLT. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I need a big truck. I like toys, and I'm not talking about G.I. Joe and Transformers. I have a drag car. I have a track car. I have an autocross car. I even have cars that I just like to tow around just for the hell of it. And I need something that's tow capable. How much is this truck? Very good question. MSRP, $82,000 the way that you see it. Let's see what you get for your hard-earned money. To the door panels. I like the updated clean style. So you're going to have some interesting sort of faux wood finish. It's tasteful. But I do like the soft material all over the top portion of the door panel, the contrast stitching, super soft, like a pillow soft armrest with more stitching, center holder for your Twinkies there. So when you're at the track and you got your track Twinkies, you can keep them stored in there, 6 of them, and then a door pocket that's gonna keep even the hungriest of people satisfied. 2 12-inch meatball subs, extra parm, extra balls, and 2 drinks you could put in there. We got the B&O sound system, and then going from the door panel to the dash, more of that soft touch material. Love this aluminum trim that they have, this aluminum style trim with the Super Duty name. And then watch this, voila! You have a little extra glove compartment. You could put all sorts of gloves, your fingerless gloves, your winter gloves, maybe even just your driving gloves, working gloves, gardening gloves. You could keep tons of pairs of gloves in here, even isotoner gloves. Even if the glove doesn't fit, you could keep it in here. Come on in. What do we got? A nice TV screen size infotainment system. 12-inch. It's got the new Sync 4 software. Very easy to use. You got all your different apps. You could go into your truck features, the zone lighting, where you can light up everything around a campsite or a work site. You could do your towing setup. All that good stuff is all built in. Let me throw it in reverse. Hopefully Steven doesn't fall out of the truck. It's pretty clear on the resolution. Actually a lot better than the previous gen. And we got the 360-degree cameras there, which is really nice. And we're right back where we started. Real knobs. So if you don't like screens, we got knobs, radio control. You got your dual climate AC control, 3 stages of ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats, and a heated steering wheel. So they got you covered to keep you warm or cool. This is for your drive modes and your 4x4 system. You can lock the rear diff. We do have a 12-volt, a home power source, and then watch this. First, you got to close that one and close this one. Then you have this nice, that wood style finish. Whoop. Open that up, wireless charging, USB-C, USB-A, a place to put a big pencil. There used to be these pencils back when I was in elementary school called the Big Dippers. They were red. We used to use those to pencil fight with one another. But you could keep a couple Big Dippers in there. 2 cup holders on the side. You got your banana holder. So you don't have to wear your banana hammock to hold your banana. You could put your 2 bananas in there. And 2 bananas are better than 1, from what I understand. Steven told me. 2 cup holders here, and then you have a place where literally you could drop in Entenmann's bun cake. Just get a fork and just eat it right here. Let's say you're not into bun cakes. That's your business. Watch this. You ready? Abracadabra, alakazam. 2 cup holders, 4 cup holders. So now I have 4 cup holders for large, super big gulps. Of course, you have your soft touch material on the armrest, the stitching. Open it up. You could actually put a set of balls in here. And what I'm talking about are 2 NFL regulation footballs. I know you were telling me, you're probably like, this is perfect, Joe. When I was at the Super Bowl, I got Taylor Swift to sign my balls. You could keep that NFL football that she signed in here and nobody's gonna touch it. None of the other Swifties are gonna take it from you. Done. Seats, the leather, the nice piping. Look at the piping, the bolstering, full electric assist for the driver and the passenger. And then, of course, one thing that I'm a little confused on, for $82,000, no sunroof. That's a big freaking zonk. but I do like the way you have auxiliary switches. That is one nice thing. But no sunroof. WTF. But why don't you get your butt over here? I want to show you behind the wheel and the column shifter in this F-250. All right, guys, here we are behind the wheel. You actually have 3 memory seat settings, power folding mirrors, and power extending mirrors. Perfect for when you're towing. You'll notice you got all your seat controls. Ooh, that lower lumbar. That's going to help my lower back. Very easy to get to. I am 6 feet tall, and it feels fantastic in here. Steering wheel, the leather, the contrast stitching, just like your favorite baseball. A little bit of gray finish. The one thing that always bothers me is I wish they would put some stitching on the horn button. This just looks cheap. This does not look like it belongs in an 82,000 vehicle of any type. It is a power tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then, like I said, we have a column shifter for the 10-speed automatic. And then you do have your nice large 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. Watch this. Look at the modes. It's like a video game. I'd rather play Donkey Kong, but if you want to pretend like you're playing a game, you could twist this until your heart content and see all the different modes. And I like the way the truck changes color. But other than that, I think the one other thing that I would like to see personally in a Lariat trim, remember, $82,000 is a head-up display. That's just me. But let's get into the back seat because I think it's going to remind you of an apartment that maybe you once lived in. Let's get back there. All right, guys, back seat time, and I'm telling you right now, if you need more room, I don't know who the hell you're driving around because there is a ton of room back here. Even though I'm 6 feet tall, it probably looks like I'm about 3 feet tall because I'm not even close to the headliner. You got those massive pockets back here. Put some tools, a wrench, a ratchet, a socket set, a screwdriver, or a set of screwdrivers. Whatever you want, you can put it back there. Nice 2 large cup holders. We do have 2 stages of heated seats for the rear seat passengers, 2 USB-Cs, a home power source, and a 12-volt. So they got more connectivity than you'll find on most stages for most bands that play here locally. So just something to think about. And then while I'm sitting here, very, very comfortable. Of course, you got your center armrest, just enough real estate for your arm, 2 cup holders. Love the way you could pull this up. Look at all the storage. That's one of the things that you have tons of storage here for whatever you're hauling around. It's not just simply about towing anymore. It's about treating everybody like royalty in the back seat and the front seat of these trucks. But why don't we go ahead, let's get on the road and see how this F-250 drives. All right, guys, we're leaving Walker Ford and we are in this 2024 F-250 Super Duty, this being a Lariat trim. And I like the way it has the sport package. Gives it a little bit, to me, a better look. I'm not a big chrome guy, so having the color match bumpers, having the darker wheels, to me, it looks better. It looks more modern. But going down the road, getting to that massive 12-inch infotainment system screen, you got the 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, all the comfort that you could ever ask for. I really feel like there, to me, isn't a super need to go higher up the trims. That this Lariat brings so much. I just need the option in a sunroof. Or they need to start putting sunroofs in because, like I said, for $82,000, that's like an expectation of what should be in the truck. But going down the road, you have so much power in this thing. I mean, 500 horsepower, 1,200 pound-feet of torque. And then I love the way you could scroll through so much information in this truck. Your engine coolant temps, the battery voltage, all that important information to make sure that when you're towing, you're gonna get to your destination. Like I said, speaking of storage, you got your wireless charging, all of your USBs, plenty of places to put drinks, snacks, the Twinkies. You got auxiliary switches up top. You could put a winch. You could put lighting, whatever you need, and then have the nice, clean setup of the switches. I remember back when I was a kid, you know, my dad would have to kind of jerry-rig a wire setup to make things work. Now it's all built in for you. You just gotta almost plug and play. But sitting here, the seats are comfy, got plenty of room up front, nice leather on the steering wheel. 10-way adjustable seats, and 3 memory seat settings. So they got you covered there. Visibility out the front is fantastic. You got all of the Ford safety features, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist. I could easily tuck in the mirrors. Watch this. Mirrors tuck in, and then you can just put them right out. All full power, and then you could also extend them depending on what size trailer you're towing. But pulling away from the light, I love the throttle sensitivity. Right now I'm in sport mode, so that's gonna actually increase throttle sensitivity and steering sensitivity. I actually really like it. It does a great job to where it doesn't feel artificial. It almost feels like you have a throttle cable attached from the throttle to the throttle body. That's how they used to do it. But getting out on the highway, you ready? On throttle, here we go. That 10-speed drops down and we are off. I mean, 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds? It's like, come on, are you for real? Like, this truck is just unbelievable how much power you have. And it's no lightweight, over 8,000 pounds. But going down the road, very smooth, very composed. Obviously, you know, because of the solid axle setup, it's gonna be a little bit of a harsh bump when you hit a super hard bump, but that's to be expected because of the way the suspension is set up on this thing. But other than that, very controllable, and I think they do a great job keeping the vibration out from entering the cabin. The noise and vibration harshness is very limited in this truck. But like I said, I've been to the Ford Proving Grounds. I've towed all different types of things with the F-250, and it's very capable and very competent. Handling, I'm telling you, especially if you're used to big trucks, this is gonna be child's play for you. If you're not used to an F-250, it'll take some time to get comfortable with the proportions and the dimensions of it. But once you got it, you're in like Flynn, and I love driving these things because they are so massive, and just the fact, the capability of them. I mean, to be able to tow the poundage that this thing can pull, to me, is mind-blowing. And like I said, they have other engine options, including the Godzilla engine, which is that 7.3 liter naturally aspirated V8. But cruising down the road feels so good in here. You got all the amenities that you could ask for, except for a sunroof. But the visibility is great. The mirrors are great. You know, sometimes these mirrors, they're there, but they really don't help you very much. These definitely do a good job. And I'm loving the color on this particular one. I highly recommend taking a look at Glacier Gray because it's a beautiful color, even on a truck this size. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of what the F-250 Lariat trim is bringing. We're gonna get back to Walker Ford and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another mega truck kind of day here at Walker Ford. Definitely gotta thank Western Walker, Frank Walker, and Tracy getting us access to this Glacier Gray. Love this color. Would want to see this maybe on a Mustang GT. Just saying. But thanks to them for getting this F-250. Let me know what you think. Are you going F-250? Are you going Ram? Are you going GMC? Or are you going Chevy? Let me know which way you're spending your hard-earned money. But until we meet another day in another area of the country, or maybe the world, if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Of course, we need to thank Stephen Flood Photography. He actually thought it was not possible to film this truck just because of the size, but you know what? He didn't give up. And that's what we like to see here on Raised Rides, people who don't give up no matter what the odds are. So thank you, Stephen, for your dedication and your will to survive. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.